All right. Welcome to the latest edition of the FPL America podcast. This is David Smith.
Travis Hoig.
Brian Shesko.
Obviously, I am not in studio with the boys. I am on location in Hong Kong, where I'm just kidding. I was not in Hong Kong, and I did not see Arsenal lose to Tottenham in the first North London derby that was not on English soil. I am, however, visiting family in Georgia, and as schedule permitted, this is unfortunately the best we got. We tried to do it possibly last week, and plumbing emergencies happened, and that shot that down.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I'm not going to be. So, anyways, apologize for the sound. Obviously, I'm not in studio, so it won't be as good. And I don't have the advantage of Travis's amazing studio lights to make myself look as good as I do. So this will be as good as we can do. That being said, so
what are we even doing here?
Yeah, why are we here?
First time we have gotten together for this new 25-26 season. Yes, unfortunately, for all the haters, the FPL America podcast is back for another season. We are going to do this, and it's going to be awesome. We love doing it, and we're gonna give it another go.
Hey, what even happened at the end of last season? Did you guys ever?
It doesn't matter.
Did you guys ever wrap things up?
No. I can't remember what exactly happened at the end of last season. None of it matters because Arsenal didn't win. Liverpool did. They're the champs, blah, blah, blah. So much to talk about the season. The way we had decided that we're going to start with this pod, and then we're going to have another pod before the season starts, at least one, possibly two, but probably just one, is
we know ourselves. It's definitely one.
What?
We know ourselves. It's definitely one. We'll plan to do two, and then we won't find time to get together.
Yeah, excuse me. We'll do one for 2 hours. So,
or longer.
What we're going to do, and something what this podcast has done for a long time, is done a club history review on the promoted squads, and so we're going to do that, Brian, along with then probably discuss some chips. I mean, FPL really shook up the programming,
it's different.
Their website, their app, and then last year they threw right in the middle of the season, which completely crushed me, the assistant manager. Some people nailed the assistant manager. I did not, and I lost like 60 points on a lot of people.
Yeah. I loved it. It was great for me.
I'm sure.
I'm glad it's gone. I'm glad it's gone.
I'm not mad.
Yeah. But the changes this season are, and we'll discuss that more in depth. But there's, you get all the chips now in the first half and the second half.
Wild.
They added some extra transfers that are going to come in, along with they changed defensive contributions. You're going to hear this word a lot. You might have already seen it either on other podcasts or on the socials. The word DEFCON, this is not like, national security DEFCON 5 or 3 or whatever the levels are. DEFCON, and so we might as well start adding it because everyone else is discussing it like this, but defensive contributions, they changed it so that not only defenders, but also defensive midfielders who are typically at cheaper prices that no one purchases will now have the opportunity to get at least a bonus of 2 points per game to help to their point total, therefore making them more valuable. So a lot to discuss. And gentlemen, did I miss anything?
I don't know. Let's take a look at the list.
You were screen sharing with me, but now it says error opening file.
It says Dave wants to talk about his favorite, third favorite team, Sunderland.
Right. Yes.
It goes Arsenal, Chelsea, Sunderland.
Yeah, I can't believe you left Tottenham out there.
And then fourth most important team for you is a tie with all the other teams.
Sure.
Interesting.
For sure.
I had no idea.
All right.
Yeah.
So that being said, we can kind of jump into the club history of Sunderland AFC. All right, Sunderland, not a stranger to the Premier League. They have been in the Premier League many, many years, but they got relegated 1 or 2 years ago and are now back. They are referred to as the Black Cats. Brian, you love a good black cat.
I own one.
This is interesting, and I'm not sure I knew this before. Their supporters are called Mackems. 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 So, Brian, if you're I don't know if they left the S off for Smackems. I don't know. It just that's what I found out here.
Let me ask you this: did you guys watch Sunderland Till I Die? The documentary?
No, but I
it's actually really, really good. Like, way better than the Wrexham one.
Yeah, and definitely better than the Arsenal.
Way better. I stand by that. Way better.
What was the Arsenal show?
Hard Knocks. Amazing. What was it?
Yeah, they did a Hard Knocks.
Amazon for like 3 years did.
Yeah, but what is it called?
Multiple. They did one on
Being Arsenal.
Yes, it was something like that. Second Till I Die.
All right. Sunderland, founded in 1879, 146 years ago. They were originally founded as Sunderland and District Teachers. And listen, Scott Weeby normally used to do the all the club histories, and I loved it because he would dive into it way better than me, and he would find these little pieces of info. I just thought that was interesting. Their ground where they play is the Stadium of Light.
Stadium Light, yeah.
No darkness there, only light. Capacity 49,000, so that's a decent sized stadium. Their colors, they wear if you've ever seen Southampton, they pretty much look like Southampton in their home jerseys, and then this season in their away jerseys.
I don't think they would like hearing you say that.
So, yeah. Southampton got relegated, but now we still have a red and white striped, vertical red and white striped
candy stripe.
Sounds like Brentford.
Their arch
nemesis. There you go. Yeah, this is Brentford.
Oh yeah, yep. Their arch nemesis is the one and only Newcastle United.
Yeah.
Tyne-Wear Derby.
Derby. Brian, you want to tell everyone what their derby's called?
No, I think that's the M23 Derby you're thinking of.
No, it's not. That's the Derby that's the most dumb and ridiculous. But that's the most made-up Derby is the Crystal Palace Brighton Derby. Sunderland Newcastle, I believe, is the Tyne-Wear Derby. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Sounds right.
Yes, I said it before you did, but you weren't listening. You were talking.
Oh, yeah. Well, me being away here, I'm going to be losing some things when,
Lost in translation. I get it.
Lost in translation.
I'll say it in English next time.
Sunderland does have a few championships. They haven't won one since the 35-36 season.
Oh, that was a good season.
They also won one in 12 and 13, 01, 02. So they have like 6 or 7 titles, but none really since 1935-36.
01, 02.
And so it's been a while.
And when were they founded? Did you say that earlier?
I did.
What year was that?
It was 1879, 146 years ago.
Gee, many Christmas.
That's far.
So the first 30 years of the club, they actually were decent.
You're saying they're not good now?
So,
is that what you're trying to say?
I'm sorry?
You're trying to say they're not good now?
They're not. They'll be lucky to stay up, I'm sure. But honestly, they were in the league. I don't know exactly.
Didn't they just sign your boy?
That's right.
They did. They did sign Granit Xhaka.
So I think they stay up.
That will help.
They got rid of the relegation burden of Aaron Ramsdale, aren't they?
Yeah, it's
insane, man.
I think so.
Well, no, Aaron Ramsdale wasn't playing for Sunderland.
But
you're used to
That's true. He was.
I thought he was on loan there.
Yeah, he was starting for Southampton.
He was on loan at Southampton. And they
okay.
Ramsdale's now across the river for Newcastle.
Fun times.
Xhaka is going to score so many goals from outside of 40 yards that'll single-handedly keep them up.
Yeah, for sure. So we can discuss some of their key players. I'm always a little hesitant to do this just because,
I think you should.
Often, Brian, is it going to be that we have relegated players in our fantasy teams?
Well,
very Alfie Dowdy.
I think at the beginning, of the season, when you're most inclined to take a shot on one of these guys, that's when it's going to be there. I think you should have started the whole thing with the caveat that you're going to target the promoted sides regardless of what anyone says.
Why?
I just think that's what everyone is kind of programmed to do in FPL.
Was to try and find the good guy that's going to break out from that team.
Because you can talk forever.
Leif Davis, Alfie Dowdy.
Right. You can talk forever about. You can talk about how great of a defense. When we talk about Burnley, you can talk about what a great defensive season they had, and I don't think that's going to matter whenever week 1 happens, and it's going to be whoever's playing Burnley. You're going to say, yeah, I'll take a chance. That's a promoted side. That's at least a plus matchup. Because I just think no matter what, the translation it doesn't last long. So
right.
I'm not trying to shoot down your decision to pick anyone from Sunderland. I'm just saying I just think knowing how everyone tends to play the game, right away you say who are the promoted sides playing. I will have people on those teams.
Agree. I think every once in a while there's a wing back or a defender playing right or left wing or on the right or left fullback where they end up producing early points with assists and or crash in goals. And then every once in a while there's one offensive player who ends up being like, oh, like that guy's really cheap. He's worth, if I had to start him one week, I could possibly start him against another one of the lower tier clubs.
Like a guy like Reynildo?
Defender, a lot of people own. We can discuss that.
That's a real name, Brian. That's a real guy's name. Reynildo.
I believe that.
I think that's his first name. It's his last name. His last name, I think, is something different. Sometimes the guys throw their first names.
It's Mandava. Yeah, Reynildo Mandava.
One guy I think is worth, and it's a new signing for them. He's coming in this summer. Is Simon or Simone Adingra, who had been at Brighton. Now, that's the name that we have definitely discussed on our pod even last season, and at times looked really like, hey, that might be worth a look.
He's going to get a run, that's for sure. He'll be the guy for them, it seems.
We definitely discussed Adingra for my FPL team name, but everyone just shot down the idea of Adingra ate my baby.
I think you need to do it this year.
All right.
It's great. I love it. I think it is awesome.
Why don't you do it? Don't be scared.
Well, I want to see if anyone else has it first, and whatever. It's just a very
no one else is going to have.
Well, just that it's at this point. That's exactly it. It's a dated reference.
It's great though.
It's really only known. It's known more thanks to Seinfeld, even though it was a big deal. I'm sure plenty of Australian FPL players would know what it is. Anyway, the point is that's the one guy from Sunderland that you would think about having at some point was Adingra, and he wasn't even on the team last season to really evaluate. Yeah,
that's correct.
So all you can hope is that it's good.
Their striker is Isidore. Wilson is his first name. Again, I don't expect you're going to get much out of him, but he came in January last season, and then I think he had 13 goals and 2 assists after he came in for them last season. So again, look, I don't think it's worth dwelling on their entire roster. Can't imagine, unless you just need a 4.0 defender in your team who will be physically playing. That's probably why you would look at having one of their defenders. I know I have, because I was looking for some of those guys. So I don't fault anyone for doing that. I know, one of their defenders is owned 18% or something like that.
Yeah.
15 to 18% selected for that player. So, which is the one that Travis was referring to a minute ago. So, anyways, unless you guys have anything else, look, I could go over other key players and key signings. Again, is it just, does anyone care at this point, right? So that's, if you guys want more, we can give more.
Let's go.
No.
You want more?
No, move on.
No, you want to move on
to the next. Move on to the next. All right.
If you're
Travis,
not,
you ready to...
if you're not buying your guy Xhaka and you haven't made a draft with Adingra in it, then forget it.
So Adingra's 5'5", and it's just that's an interesting. There's a lot of other guys I think. At 5'5",
that is a competitive price point.
And that's why. But who knows? It might end up being worth it. It's just I'm not willing to take that risk. The way I'm going to be managing this fantasy season is different than I have in the past. And so, although everyone's going to have to manage differently because there's chips. So you're going to be playing first half chips before you normally would. Instead of saving them all, typically, rarely, someone might play a bench boost on week one. That's common.
I think that's going to be way more popular this year.
Think so?
Well,
yeah.
Week one?
Yeah.
Because I just think it's something that the pundit class of FPL content creators is constantly kind of propping that idea up, and hardly anyone actually acts on it. And I think this was the first year where everyone was kind of like, all right, well, I'm going to just get that out of the way.
Come out hot. And then you
get
not
it out now while you have the most information and because you get, this is the other than even on a wild card, you couldn't wild card a team in and then go straight to kind of pick a bench boost that you really like, because it's a non-variable week to use it. So I just think it will be a lot more popular. I think people will act on it a lot more than they talk about it.
Yeah. No, I think that's fair. All right, so let's move on to Leeds. I'm glad Leeds is back in the league. I loved it. They were up for at least one, or was it 2 seasons? They got relegated last year, and then now they're back up. They've done the proverbial Norwich yo-yo. Leeds Football Club, located in Leeds, West Yorkshire, England. They are known as the Whites, which I don't know how, politically correct that word is anymore, or the Peacocks. They were founded in October 17th, 1919, 105 years ago. Their ground is Elland Road, and their capacity is 37,645. Now, look, history, I'm not going to read through Leeds' history, as they have won championships and they've won cups. It used to be one of the biggest rivalries in the Premier League. My understanding, Travis, was
absolutely
Manchester United Leeds, right?
Yeah, definitely.
It was
bigger than Liverpool United is right now, or similar at least, right? Liverpool replaced Leeds. Liverpool replaced Leeds as United's biggest rival, basically after Leeds went bust. Yeah. And it's only grown because Leeds isn't there. But current United fans, current generation United fans won't remember that, and definitely don't. The rivalry is dying, and it's a little bit sad.
Yeah. They are managed by Daniel Farka,
which is interesting because he's the one that yo-yoed Norwich, like you were saying earlier.
Daniel Farka is the current day Travis, who's the English manager, Big Sam Allardyce. I feel like Farka might be the new Allardyce. Maybe that analogy could be completely wrong. That's okay.
He's got better hair.
So,
yeah,
better hair. Leeds, obviously, like I said, I was absolutely rooting for Leeds to stay up. Really wanted them to stay up last year. I have a brother who follows Leeds, which is fun. And I don't know. I like I like what they do, and anyone who hates Manchester United, I have a common interest. So that being said, Brian, do they have any players that you would like to discuss, or are we just going to pass over them?
I wanted to, before you talk about players, I wanted to also go ahead and give you another odd thing that you mentioned, albeit probably inadvertently. You kind of referred to Daniel Farke as a modern day Sam Allardyce, and ironically, or rather probably more coincidentally, Farke replaced the previous manager, who was Sam Allardyce.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did I miss that? Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
In July of 23, 4th of July in 23, Farke took over for Allardyce. Allardyce left after they were relegated. So just throwing that out there.
I like it. I like it a lot.
So let's talk about some players.
Right.
Patrick Bamford on your radar this time around?
Patrick Bamford is 100%. He's already in my team. Once they get Timo Pukki back in,
that'd be great.
Top player ever. No, I mean they had a few players that were in the championship team of the season last season, and again, I'm not sure. I'm not sure that it's players that you're not gonna start with Pirro. Is that how you say it?
I think so. Pirro.
The striker for the team of the season for the championship last season. Scored, what do you have, 19 goals, something like that. I think he led the championship in goals, and I think it's like 19 and 7 assists or something like that, which, if I remember right, our championship to Premier League goal and assist conversion rate, I think that puts him at a total
like
of
4.
6 goals and 2 assists. Chalk him down for 6 and 2 in the Premier. No, I don't know. I can't imagine starting with him. Manor Solomon also in the team of the season. However, that was a loan from Spurs. So unless Spurs decide to sell or there's some deal, he's returned to the parent club. Pascal Stroik, who we've had definitely.
Stroik.
When he was here, last time Leeds was in, there were plenty of games where he, largely because of his price at the time, it was a useful FPL asset for sure. Also, I feel like I have a memory of him also kind of crashing out an important time for me at one point. Maybe a red card.
He got injured and he had a red card. Yeah,
it was something like that, and it was like a brutal game.
Nice.
And Junior Firpo, I'm not. Those are all team of the season players for the championship last season. Do you want to start with them in your team? How's Leeds opening fixtures? Are they good enough for you to want to put one of those guys in your team?
I don't think so. I mean, they got Everton, Arsenal. That Arsenal match would be a good matchup for them. They'll probably destroy them. Newcastle, Fulham, Wolves. Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, Everton at home is going to be interesting, but this is a different Everton team, so I don't like that. It's a green matchup, but no.
Manchester United's Dan James, is that worth a thought?
Well, he was Leeds Dan James before that. He went back.
I understand. So. Yes, correct.
Yeah, another guy, Premier League pedigree player.
Yeah,
who had a very productive championship season last season.
Which last time he did that, it earned him a move to a bigger club, and he did not all that much. That said, higher profile players also did not that much, left and did wonderful things. So I don't think Daniel James is a bad idea. Again, he's been there before, like most of these guys. So I think that's reasonable to consider.
It's just, again, he's at that same 5.5
yeah, it's
price
weird.
point.
But I wouldn't be surprised if he becomes relevant at some point, I guess, is my point.
It'd just be nice. It'd be nice to see, and another guy at that same price point for Leeds is Nato with a G. And I'm probably saying that wrong.
Willie.
Brian.
Willie
You know,
Gnonto.
Big Willie.
Yeah.
Big Wilfred Gnonto. He's
So
at
many
the
of-
same spot. I would just love to see them at 5 up.
It's so many
I
of
think
those.
that-
So many of those names of players who or the vague memory of them from the last time Leeds was up and
He's like
from being elsewhere in the Premier
Yeah.
League, and I think it's all players who you're not strongly considering.
For sure.
correct.
But you'd say, but you look at them,
guys
You
like-
remember them,
Yeah,
but
you-
you're not
you look at them and you say, "Huh,"
that guy.
and then you move on.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think there's anybody here worth owning. I do think there are guys that could become relevant, but I don't know that I would throw anybody in your team. I am surprised to see so many people jumping on Carl Darlow. Obviously, again, another guy with Premier League pedigree. He's currently in 8.2% of teams, but that's a lot for a guy that's 4-0 and may not be starting. It's very
Well,
odd.
they also got, is it Melier?
Yeah, something like that.
Right? He's on that roster as well. Like, who's their starting keeper?
Based on
Like,
price, it's Melier or Perry, and then Darlow is a third. But Darlow was there last season. That's just odd to me, man. I don't know. Anyways, I think not much to worry about right now. Pay attention, see who steps up, and go from there.
So far the registered teams in the Premier League for anyone who's created a team so far, out of all of the strikers priced 5.5 or lower, the fourth and fifth most popular choices are the Leeds forwards Pirot and Patrick Bamford. But that's at 3%. 3%
Right.
of teams. Dave, when
I-
we get to Burnley, your favorite guy is just ahead of them. Is the third most popular.
I own
I
him.
have
That's
it too.
amazing. I don't
think
believe
he's the
you,
guy.
but that's amazing.
I think he's the guy. That's who you pick
But
up.
anyway, no, I don't know one thing about these guys coming in that is any overwhelming make a desirable choice. There's nothing about them that makes me say I'm gonna find a
It's
way
money,
of fitting
though,
them
right? It's money,
Right.
and that's the
It's
problem.
so
To
cheap
Dave's
prices.
point, they're at bad price points, especially the midfielders in 5.5. That where there's so many better, more reliable options at 5.5
Agreed.
doesn't make sense. So the only way you would be considering going with one of these guys is if they're on a lower price point, and very few of them actually are.
Or if you are so desperately principled as a fan that you insist on having someone from your team somewhere in your FPL lineup. That'd be the only other way.
Mhm.
So I don't want to just immediately shoot down. I mean, I know this is a lead segment, and I am glad that they're back. And Daniel Farka is
He is a good manager.
a great manager to see standing over there
Messing with his
on
hair.
the lines. However,
Yes.
if the last few seasons have been any indication, then it's the same.
They're going to go back down.
Yeah, they might have competition. Like I was considering wearing just in order who's had the worst off season so far. So I was gonna wear my Newcastle shirt tonight, and then next week or next time I would wear a Brentford shirt, and then I just keep going down the line until until we get to the better teams or whatever. But that's like the Newcastle's not gonna they're not gonna get relegated, and Brentford. I don't know. Brentford might.
Nah.
I don't know.
They're gonna be fine.
They,
They'll be
they,
fine.
they could fall. They could fall down into that zone, though.
Yeah, they will.
That's the problem.
I wouldn't be surprised.
What I'm saying is, it's going to be the same thing forever. Like the promoted teams are going to have to spend a fortune to get whoever
To
they
stay
can.
a la Forest, right?
Right, and that's it. You're gonna follow the Nottingham Forest business model.
Yep.
Break all the rules, buy 20 guys, and
Pay
hope
the
that
fines.
10 of them stick. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
the last
No.
team on the list, though, is one that does probably have some intrigue, as you've already alluded to.
It's
Dave.
interesting. I will say Darren Farley is going to have a good time with Farka being back. You guys watch his Darren Farley's impressions of Premier League managers and players.
Oh no!
Oh, he's so good. Farley football cannot recommend a good binge enough. Go look him up, and especially the Farka stuff. It's pretty funny. Anyways,
the two notable cheap defenders that some people are going with, and I've seen some pundits who have really dived into it deep. They've mentioned Joe Rodon. I think it's Joe. Is it Joe?
It's Joe Rodon.
Joe.
He had a run with Tottenham there for a while, and
Joe Rodon and then Goodmanson, and they both have
Goodmanson's
very
gone.
low percentages.
Yeah, Goodmanson
but
is no longer with them, so that's interesting that he still has ownership at all. Yeah,
did he get sold?
He died. No, I'm just kidding. He didn't. Too soon.
What's wrong with
He just said he was gone. I was just saying. No,
he's
yes,
not gone.
He's not on the team
I
anymore.
can't believe that came out of your mouth, considering what your team went through.
Well,
in the
you know,
off-season.
I'm always one step over the line.
Oh my!
Jeez. All right, we ready to move on to Burnley?
We were ready a long time ago.
That figures. All right, Burnley Football Club, nicknamed the Clarets, founded in 1882, 143 years ago, play at Turf Moor. Capacity of their stadium, 21,000, or actually right at 22,000. Their manager, Scott Parker, which I remember playing in the Premier League for multiple teams, Newcastle, Fulham.
Did he play?
I think
Newcastle?
Spurs. Am I wrong? Am I wrong about Newcastle?
I remember him playing for Newcastle.
I know. Chelsea, Newcastle, West Ham, Tottenham, and Fulham. Scott Parker played for all of them.
I'm going to question.
Charlton Athletic.
We'll just question your. We'll question your research. We'll have writers,
Thank
someone write in and
Yeah,
gripe
that'll be
about
fine.
it.
Yeah. Burnley, goodness, have they ever won a championship? I don't.
You tell
I don't
us.
think they don't have a very deep history. I guess. All right.
They don't need a deep history when they got J.J.
I was
Watt
going to say, they have J.J. Watt's history. That's all the history you need.
and Dude Perfect.
They were champions of the first division, 1920-1921 season, and the 59-60 season. So in my face.
In your face.
They won the FA Cup winners in 1913 and 14. And Brian, you'll love this. They were runners-up in the Texaco Cup in 73 and 74.
That's a big deal.
Better. That's they're better than Arsenal.
Yep, they yes they are. All right, so Burnley. Burnley, I feel like over the last 10 years has been in the Premier League at least 8 of those last 10 years, and I could be wrong. I feel like they're not necessarily strangers to our talk. Typically, in the past, they've been very strong defensively. And on every once in a while, they'll have a striker who might score every once in a while. But they're not going to have a lot of players again that we're going to be talking about often, are they?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
They'll have more, but the only reason why I think the intrigue is a little different because, one, Scott Parker.
Yes, we like Scott Parker.
So not that he's not like he lit the Premier League on fire before, because he's been in the league before and been terrible, and he's been in the league before and been okay, and then been gone.
He was okay with Bournemouth, wasn't he?
Look that up, Dave. But now that he's like this version of Burnley, it's not just tight defensively, it was championship record-breaking tight. So
Parker, Fulham 2 years, Bournemouth 1 season, Club Brugge 1 season, and now at Burnley. Burnley in his second season.
WhoScored.com. Plenty of season stats among the many places that you can find this. You could go to sofascore.com as well. They conceded 1 goal to a counterattack last season. 1 goal.
That's That's pretty impressive.
They didn't concede more than one goal in any match, and they broke championship records conceding 16 total goals. So the fewest goals ever in a 46-game season. And they had a record 30 clean sheets. Do you remember last season when J.J. Watt was he was betting their goalkeeper? It was a bet with it would have been with
James Trafford. Which is a huge reason why they were that good, by the way. He's a very good goalkeeper. And,
of course, now he's not there, so that right away ruins a lot of it. But he was he had a bet with J.J. Watt that if they kept all clean sheets, like he didn't concede a goal all season, that J.J. joked that he would come out of retirement. That he
came pretty close.
And for a while there, it was looking a little iffy for J.J. But did not keep all clean sheets, but they kept a lot. So I think that's the biggest thing, is that not just a good defense, an all-time great championship defense with a defensive coach and a team that has players who have played in the Premier League in recent memory.
Guys like Kyle Walker.
Right. I mean, they signed Kyle Walker.
Tuanzebe.
Axel Tuanzebe.
Yep.
They have Josh Brownhill was one of their players of the season last season. The 4-0 defender Esteve or Steve, if you want to make an like electronic Steve joke.
Yes, definitely.
Feel free. It's right there for you. But no, he was their actual player of the season. I think that the thing that's going to make it difficult is lots of teams try just to absorb pressure and play, I don't know, like they can press and say all they want about what they're going to do in the championship and it'll work. And then does that happen in the Premier League too?
Right, for sure.
And was it Norwich that a couple seasons ago, like all the buzz coming into the Premier League of overlapping center backs? You remember that? Where it was like they had a special formation, or like they had their center backs and their right and left back would invert on certain formational things, and like it was
overlapping.
Yeah, it was like an overlapping center, and that didn't work for very long. And so that's why I'm not saying, like, again with them, like I think it's a little bit different where you could point to some of those players and say, all right, that actually was really impressive in the championship. It can work. You know, that's why I think that's the accusation that's kind of floating out there now about them is this just Deichball 2.0 or 3.0 or 4.0 or whatever version of it you'd like it to be. But I think that's the thing, is then, can they absorb that kind of pressure? Can they be that tight defensively in the Premier League? But then also, they didn't score a ton. They scored 69 goals, which, like, on the surface of it, you're like, hey, that's pretty good. Arsenal scored 69 goals last year.
Hey.
Sure.
But also,
not enough.
Nice.
Right, exactly. But, you know, more games, championship defense compared to Premier League defense. You know, it's just, they also underachieved their XG. They overachieved their XG. It was 66 goals scored on an XG of 63. It was 69 goals. They had 3 own goals that were credited to them. So whatever. They scored 69 total goals, but 3 of those were credited own goals.
Saying 69 a lot.
Just the way it went. It's not my fault. It's blame history.
Yeah.
Got it.
Travis.
I guess that's the question, is, are these guys going to come back into the Premier League and, you know, can they maintain the same level of pressure? Can the same guys who are out there now, can they keep up with the demands, you know, with Premier League demands? I don't know. You could hedge that way. I just don't know that you're going to be like, well, I'm going to build my first 3 spots in my team around Burnley.
I mean,
so it'll be Ashley Barnes and Josh Brownhill, and Steve is going to be my.
Well,
my
you say that, but at the end of the day, I mean, Ashley Barnes is in what 5% of teams.
Ashley Barnes is in a decent number of teams.
Aaron Ramsey's on 12.8% of teams right now.
That's a lot.
Steve is on 9.8%
that
of teams.
to me,
Those are huge numbers.
That he is a player like. I think the numbers on the defenders is that basically they contributed nothing to attack. I think it was Connor. I was going to say Connor Bradley. That's not correct. Is it Connor Rogers? Connor Rogers is Connor Rogers covers the Jets here in the United States.
No one cares. Let's talk about Roberts.
Roberts plays as one of the wingback defenders for Burnley. I think
good to know. Thank you.
2 goals and 3 assists for him last season. That is a 0 and a 1, translating to the Premier League by conversion rate.
Thank you for sharing that.
No, just that
Ashley Barnes' ownership is what it is because he's like the only guaranteed, I think, 4.5 forward available.
Yeah.
There are no 4.0 forwards. So
yeah. I think you're right. He's in my team
like
too.
The only one that's like guaranteed to get any playing time, and that's why his playing time. I mean, that's why his ownership is what it is.
No, I'm not saying you shouldn't put a cheap guy on the end of your bench. I'm not saying that at all. I just think these are all your position 12, 13, 14.
Yeah.
In your team. So
no, I agree.
Which is reasonable, I think, at least to start with, unless you have a tremendous amount of seat time, right? Watching these promoted teams, which and EFL is very popular and it's entertaining to watch. So no judgment to anybody who does think that it will translate. It's just historically it's been apples to oranges because it does tend to be more difficult for those teams.
I just think if you're picking the Burnley players, I assume you're not really excited about opening day at Tottenham.
Yeah.
Game 2, home to Sunderland. You get a championship battle in the second week of the Premier League right off the bat there. You prefer to have Burnley at home, but I don't know. They just went to war with each other.
Yeah.
Last season. So I mean,
yeah,
you'd like to think that anything could happen there, but you probably hedge toward the home team and Fortress Turf more. You probably hedge toward Burnley on that one, so you feel okay. But then at Manchester United, home against Liverpool, home Nottingham Forest, the first 5 games of the season, what are you doing? You're not even if you have any of these guys, are you starting them against anyone but Sunderland? Right. So I just think that the target promoted team
into your bench call it
sort of still applies. Maybe you knock that down a little bit if game 1 it's 0-0 against Tottenham, then all of a sudden there's probably a mad rush to go after whoever got the most bonus points for Burnley.
Steve or Kyle Walker.
Right. So is Kyle Walker 4-5? Did he come in at 4-5?
He did.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean,
there's a lot of 4-5 guys though. I mean, Mickey Van de Ven's 4-5.
Yeah. Give me.
Wan-Bissaka's 4-5.
Right.
There's some reasonable 4 guys there. So
yeah,
I'd rather have Senesi than Walker, right? So.
All right. So I think that kind of concludes our at least. What would Scott used to say, Brian? Full and incomplete club history summary. He always did it in a witty way.
I haven't told you guys this. Brian's got a lot going on in his life right now,
man.
We as a group talked just like we always do. Are we going to do this again for what? Is this a 9th season?
I need to go back and look.
9th or 10th, I can't remember.
We're closing in on that.
Coming close to 9 or 10 seasons. Are we going to do this again? And we said, yeah, sure. Well, with Brian's got all this stuff going on, maybe we can give him the night off every once in a while and bring somebody else in. And so while we were talking, I texted Scott, former host Scott, and 2 days later he texted me back. And you know what he said? It wasn't, yes, I would be delighted to sit in.
Screw you guys, I'm going home.
Yeah.
He said the opposite. You know what he told me? I didn't tell you guys this yet. He said, you know what? I don't think I'm going to do a team this year.
Wow,
What?
he's out completely. What a move. Hey, I have notes as far back as 2018.
Wow.
So I don't think that's that's probably not the first, because when we started doing it, the only fantasy platform we did it on was ESPN. So it went back so far back that, first of all, ESPN had a viable fantasy non-American football platform that and it was kind of good, if I remember right.
It was good. It was.
And then they abandoned it. Maybe too soon, or at least they realized that all the other fantasy sports take up enough of their bandwidth, I guess, that they didn't need to complicate it with the Premier League. So, but whatever. The whole point is that's stupid, man. Really, Scott's not going to do it at all?
He said he was thinking about it.
I know Elliot's going to do a team, his son, and so that's just kind of
beat you again this year.
Like,
I would like to see the ratio of my losses to less than 12-year-olds. It's probably a good bit. I'm sure based on my rank last year, it was not. I'm sure there are plenty of adolescents who whipped me. So
he did not whip you by the end of the season last year, Brian. Let's not.
I ended all right. Look, man, I ended all right. That's why I was asking. I really, what I was hoping for is for you to say, "Hey, you ended not too bad." That's what I was looking for. But
you were digging. You were digging for that. All right, let's dive into, Travis. Correct me if I'm wrong. Next on the list, I can't see the screen anymore.
Chip Mayhem.
This is all.
Mayhem.
This is all you, buddy.
This is
because we haven't read the rules.
What is your like? Everyone's so bent out of shape about chips. So many of the purists,
they're
old,
ruining the game.
All the old heads, which are older, even older heads than my head. All the old
it's hard
heads,
to do.
All the old heads are griping about back in my day, and I think they just don't like the idea of kind of catering to the casuals.
Lazy guys that need
catering to the casuals. Do you hate catering to casuals, Dave?
He is a casual.
As a plumber, how do you feel
plumber
about catering to casuals?
Yeah, I mean, it's a necessary evil. You got to cater to the casuals.
Can you believe that they want more people to be interested in this longer throughout the season? What?
I know. Well,
I usually give up pretty early, so I think it's interesting. It gives me a chance to, beat a 10-year-old at the game.
The snob-headed pundits, they pride themselves on how smart they are and all their analysis. And honestly, now with AI, like, all the work that they would do on the analysis, AI just nuked all of it. It's taken away a lot of their strategic power. So a lot of it's going to come from, yes, sure, there's still plenty of analysis that AI is not going to be able to analyze the gameplay and then figure out this and that and the other, and or just pass the regular eye test. But I think it also just kind of brings gut back into it. And a lot of the pundits don't like to go with gut. They like to just stick strictly with the stats, and that's probably why they finish in the top 10,000 every year.
That's exactly
and I don't fault that, but let's be honest, gut kind of brings the fun into it.
What was your did you see the email of the kind of the season recap that FPL sends out at the end of the season? They do kind of that the generic analysis of what you what your managing style is?
No, I would love to actually go look that up. I never saw that.
Go to your clutter folder, and then search by from, and then go to the letter F where fantasy is.
Was this
a
Cosmo
and after
quiz?
You go through all the other fantasy things you do, go to Fantasy Premier League. No, this is like it's a legit thing. It was Fantasy Premier League, and they do their it's a season recap. You don't have to do it. You don't have to do it right now.
Do it right now.
I know, but I'm actively doing it right now to see nothing's coming up. It's gonna take some bigger digging. Anyways, regardless.
Well, the whole point is, Dave, if you want to know what
tell me the point.
If you want to know what mine was, my Fantasy Premier League review from last season. Do you know what my designation was based on my managing style?
But no, please tell me.
I was a trailblazer.
Oh,
trailblazer, okay. Because you know what? The quest for points has no boundaries. All my chips were used, free transfers were rarely left behind, and captain picks were made with a purpose, but I didn't follow the status quo. That's what they said about it.
Hey, that made you feel proud, did it not?
Clearly, he brought it up.
Yeah, but you know what my best rank was any game week? For the whole season?
1 million.
Week 1.
Oh, really?
Nah.
Yeah. Well, you were in like the top 200,000, weren't you, or something like that?
No, I finished in the top. I think I finished in the top 500,000.
Okay.
Which is not bad considering I did what a lot of people did. I fell into like 3 million or whatever. But the grind to get back into the top million, it felt like it was taking forever. So I finished at like 400,000, which is a terrible rank by like pundit standards. But still ended up being for what my season was last season, it was extremely good. But my best rank was week 1. I was ranked 380,000 at the end of week 1. So I never got back. And the whole thing, all last season,
too soon.
No, it was all Salah. It was all Mo Salah. Salah, anyone who did what I did, which is some people, late riser did it. So his rank was probably about the same as mine last year. Maybe worse. Yeah. But he did the same thing. Like a lot of anyone who hedged on Haaland over Salah from weeks like after, I don't know, week 5 or whatever it was, when it was like, Luis Diaz is kind of matching him. And then like I parted ways and didn't go back quickly. And so that whole time it's like, there were even some weeks looking back through like the season review where I was like, it's actually a little bit above average without Salah. And then looking at him like, and as I'm like descending to hell, like every week without him, I'm like, what was I doing? What was I doing? Yeah. Why didn't I stop it there? Why not there?
Right.
So now everyone's got that same dilemma to start this season, not just with team selection, but like you have the Salah, Haaland, one or the other, or both, or none, which I've seen just about everybody's talking like that. And then on top of that, all the people griping about the game's gone. Back in my day, we only had our wits and one transfer
for the whole season.
All right, so now changes to this season. Let's get on to that. So now we've alluded to it already.
We're just killing time because we don't know what they are.
We just left Brian's story time because it's time for you to talk about chips.
Right. Well, people are like, let's get on with this.
What's different? That's what they always say.
I'm gonna
just so you know, we're already at 55 minutes.
We can wrap this up. We can wrap this up in one exact hour if you rip through what your view of chips.
All right, my view of chips, and I also want to ask how this is going to change your managing styles. Okay, I'll go first, and then I'll let you go. So, first of all, obviously you have now 4 chips in the first half of the season: bench boost, triple captain, free hit, wild card. You have that in the second half of the season. They also changed last season that you cannot make a transfer and you can bank it, not just up to 2, but now you can, or maybe I think the max was 3, then they changed it to 5. So you can bank up to 5 transfers. Also this season,
right.
the African Cup of Nations tournament is going to be going on in between match weeks 17 and 21. And over that time period, the Premier League is going to give you 5 transfers, whether you have them or not. I don't think that you're going to be able to get over 5, but there's no point in holding on to a transfer going after match week 16, because my understanding is when match week 17 starts, they're going to give you 5 more. So you have a full bank. So what that tells me is, hey, it's time to play willy-nilly, Wild West, free. Let's make some changes. Who cares about transfers? Because I'm just going to get more at some point.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to make the season a lot more exciting. One change that I'm making that I have not done in the past, maybe I have, but at least I don't remember, is number one, knowing that we're going to have a lot more transfers accessible throughout the rest of the season and chips. That is exciting. And then also what I've noticed in the past, that I'm usually wild carding regardless of how good a team I think I have to start the season. I'm typically wild carding, usually by the first international break, which is after the first 3 weeks.
It's pretty common.
And my strategy to start this season, I'm literally looking at the first 3 weeks and what team can I have that's going to get me the highest score after the first 3 weeks. I'm not looking at any players like, oh, I can set and forget this player on my team all season. I'm not even going to have to worry about it. I'm not doing that just because, again, with everything else that's going on, I want guys who are playing. So if I have a cheap guy, I want him to be playing. I'm not sure exactly when the bench boost is going to happen. I'll wait till Ben Krellin tells me when to do that, because he's already probably masterminded the best bench boosts and or free hits when, I think he's already done that. Like match week 8 is going to be a nice free hit if you don't have certain players. So anyways, my personal strategy is managing for the first 3 weeks. What team, I got 3 Spurs in my team. I have 3 Chelsea players in my team. Why? Because they have a really nice opening schedule.
Because they're the pride of Hong Kong.
Yeah, why? Because you love them deep down. There's no other reason.
I hate those 2 teams, and yet I'm maxed out on their players.
You said you wanted an honorary spot on your bench for Eden Hazard.
Oh yeah, him and his big caboose. What would Roger Bryan from Men in Blazers call Hazard's?
Big bottom smalls. So short guys with a large rear end.
That's right, a big bottom small. So.
This is not a baseball podcast ever, but that reminds me of the catcher for Seattle Mariners is Cal Raleigh, who
his name is the Big Dumper.
Yeah, Big Dumper is one of the great nicknames in history.
Amazing.
I wish we could incorporate that somehow into FPL, but we obviously can't.
This is not a Major League Baseball podcast, but my understanding is Cal Raleigh's leading the major leagues in home runs.
Yeah, he is.
Big Dumper. Dumping home runs.
Well, yeah, he had the most home runs before the All-Star break since Barry Bonds. That's how good of a season he's having.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I love it.
And then
guess we know what he's putting in that dumper then.
Yeah, exactly.
PEDs.
All right, so
HGH.
So in lieu of also one other change is the change, which we've already alluded to already, the defensive contributions. So if you get 10 or more in a game, you can get 2 extra points. And the 10 or more defensive contributions is takeaways, clearances, and a couple other things that I'm missing, and they're very simple. But anyways, if you get 10 or more of those in a game, then you will get 2 extra points. So a defensive midfielder plays in a shutout, doesn't score and or assist, ends up with 5 players. So you could have a fantasy player in your team worth 4.5 or 5 or 5.5 and still give you 5 points without scoring. And honestly, and I think they changed the bonus point system as well to give more credence to those
Offensive
players who are doing
contributions.
that.
Yeah.
My favorite
All right, so
change, my
in lieu
favorite
of those
change,
changes-
but my favorite change to scoring is that they cleaned up the assist, how they award assists, and gave really good video examples of times last season where someone probably should have been credited with an assist,
but
where
wasn't.
no
Didn't get
assist was credited, or someone was credited with an assist that would no longer count because of deflections or whatever. That now that I think that should take away the
So
people
what's the
screeching.
quick and dirty on that one?
Just that as long as it's an intended, if like now a deflection on an intended pass will still go as an assist. But if there's something, so there are times where someone is clearly making a pass to someone else, it would clip a defender's heel or whatever. And so the deflection would take it into the path of whatever. It would take it into the path of a different goal scorer or whatever. And so they would say that action that
negates
took
assist.
away the intent of the pass, and so that was no longer deemed an assist. Well, now they're just going to say, well, look, like that guy was clearly intending to make the pass to a goal scorer, just because it didn't go necessarily
directly
exactly to the person, whatever. It's not his fault. So, and then
I like that.
Right, and then there are times where I think they showed, Pickford. Oh, one of the big ones is on a penalty. So last season, one of the ones that they show is that Pickford played a long ball that went into the path of a person running onto the ball, who was then fouled in the opposition box, led to a penalty, and the person converted it. That did not count. That would have counted as an assist. They would count that as an assist for Pickford, because the action led to what led to an assist, like what led to a penalty.
Led to the goal.
Right. Okay. So there are a couple of things like that they changed, where they were like, "This."
Not who won the penalty.
Well, I think because
the person who won the penalty
converted it.
What if they didn't? What if it's a different penalty taker?
Then I think it would still be normal.
Back to I agree. I think it reverts back to the
right.
way it
It's
was.
just that it happened that way, where it was like that pass resulted in that player winning a penalty and scoring it. They would classify that then, because the action created it.
Yep.
That would then count as an assist for the person who created that action.
Great.
So,
all right.
Anyway.
So in lieu of these changes, gentlemen, will this change how you address the beginning of the season, the entirety of the season? I would love your opinions on that. Travis.
No.
Yeah, me either.
Really?
I have already committed to this season just doing whatever Brian tells me to do. And so I'm already doing that.
Okay.
So I'm going to tell everyone what my team is next episode. I'm very likely we're doing that. And then Brian's going to tell me what I did wrong, and I'm going to fix it. And then every week he's going to make recommendations, and I'm going to do them.
Now, you do know that he will be more distracted at least.
Oh, I thought about that actually, because I was like, oh, I need to bring that up because I'm still doing that. Don't suck.
He won't
Don't
be as
slack
sharp
off.
through October as he normally is.
Don't cost me this season.
My FPL career path has been dismal until February. That's the way it has gone almost every single year that I've ever played.
Well, the biggest issue with you is, though, you always say the right things and then don't do them.
Well, that's
I always have that huge. I always have my relegation energy from kind of like minimum crisp after Christmas on. It happened last year. I told you. I think I gave up.
Doing pretty well.
I think I gave up. I think I gave up earlier last season than I had ever given up before, and still
all of a sudden you surged
and managed to scrape out an okay end of my season. So
an okay end. No, very good. So no change for you, Travis. You're just doing whatever Brian tells you.
That's right.
And then Brian's gonna, you just gotta be ready for Brian the Shesko surge.
I don't
in the
listen.
second half of the season.
I'm saying that usually, like, I have said repeatedly, I don't understand. Like, there are certain, I don't know. It feels like there are certain players that the bandwagon is understandable. The rule on the podcast has typically been, if you get, one result from a player you don't expect, you might just ignore it. The second time it happens, and you're like, now I gotta, I might have to make a decision here. If you get 3 weeks in a row, you have to make the decision. Either I'm going to get left behind here, or I have to do this. I have to act on this immediately.
Yeah,
and then and then I think there's a point where you miss the boat entirely, and it's happened every year where there's somebody where you're like, oh, that was there went the fifth week of it. It's got to be over soon, and you can either every week that you wait, you risk falling further behind. So no, I don't think there's anything that's like I think having the two sets of chips is gonna. I think you'll be more willing to, take a risk on
take risks.
Take a risk on something that you maybe wouldn't have. Throw a triple captain on somebody in in an okay matchup, knowing especially too, like all the advantages in previous seasons, like waiting till the end of the year.
Yeah.
A lot of those things are going away. The scheduling is easing up. They're not going to pile everything on everybody as much at the end.
So they say.
Fewer double game weeks, and so especially in that first half of the season, I think you can. Everyone's gonna, you should. I don't know if you want to use it right away. Anybody last season, like Holland went on a tear in those first 3 weeks last season. If you triple captain Erling Haaland real early, you're thrilled. It was the right move.
Yeah.
And that would have been a great thing to do at any point in the season. And I don't see why you couldn't get another one of those, this year. And then you have the safety net of next second half of season. You get that same thing again. I just feel like it'll be a lot more. It'll promote a lot more maverictude. Is that a
maverictude?
Oh, yeah,
for sure. Yeah, that's definitely a word.
I think that's the way they usually talk about it in these things.
Yeah.
All right,
so
gentlemen, I think that's sort of it for this pod. I tell you, now that we've kind of dove into it, there's many more things I want to discuss, but let's save that for the next pod, as I'm already excited about the next one. Did we miss anything, gentlemen?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Go ahead, Travis.
No, I don't want to talk about it. I'm just saying it is certainly we missed something for sure.
Okay.
I don't know what it is, but we did miss it.
Well, on that note, gentlemen, it's a pleasure to kick off the FPL America podcast season today or whenever this gets dropped, and I'm really looking forward to the start of the season with Liverpool in 2 weeks, Travis-ish?
Pretty
2
soon.
Fridays, right?
Yep, pretty soon.
Is it 2 weeks from tomorrow?
It is the August 15th. Yeah, so that's right about 2 weeks from tomorrow. Yeah.
Right, today's Thursday night, right? Tomorrow's Friday. Yeah.
That's the end.
It's 2 weeks from tomorrow.
End of the first week of
really close.
School back in session that week for all the children. Anyone who
no one cares.
Does anyone know about having children these days? That's something that.
No, we're too busy trying to figure out what we're going to do with our chips.
Yeah, exactly. Who am I triple captaining?
All right. On that note,
what's for dinner tonight?
For the FPL America podcast, this is David Smith. Until next time.